Alright, this is Brian with the Precision Marksman channel. I'm helping a friend glass bed a Manor stock. I believe it's the Long Range Hunter. We're just going to bed the back tang. We're going to bed from right in front of the recoil lug back to about right in here. Well, so what I've done is I put thicker green masking tape. You can get whatever you want. This is painter's tape. And then I put a wrap of the little bit smaller tape here around the barrel. And then I tape up the back of the stock. And then what I've done is I've used this Imperial dye wax. Works really well. So this is going to be JB Weld. It won't stick to the tape. It won't really stick to the tape very well anyway. This even makes it better. I left the trigger in. What I do is I wrap this because what it does is it keeps the barrel aligned perfectly. And then also it allows you to keep the junk from flowing forward. And then same thing here, where the barrel is close to the channel in the stock. I also put a wrap there to keep everything centered. Then the stock. Let me see if I can get this out. Okay, I screw these bolts in right here. This one, and I wrap it with tape to make it tighter. This one's so tight, there's no room for me to wrap it with tape. Wouldn't even take a half a wrap. Same with this. What I do is I put extra wraps on it, and then I take wraps off until it fits and snug. Then I just tape off the magazine area, tape off the trigger, and then I'm going to spray it with Hornady one-shot. So, and then I put a layer of masking tape on the front of the recoil lug, and then the sides and the bottom, so it's easy to take off. And then I'm going to go outside and spray this with a Hornady one-shot. The stock, all the tape here has been covered with one-shot. We're only going to put JB Weld from here to here. And so by putting these screws or these bolts in the action, we prevent junk from going up in the action. And this will align everything. So between the tape here and here, the tape here and here, and then the tape here, and the barrel channel here, and then these, everything's really aligned, and you don't have to put the bottom metal on. Then I'll use electrical tape to wrap it. I'll show you that, and let it set for 4 to 6 hours, and then I'll pop it off and let it set for 24 hours, and you should be good to go. Once you pop it off, I take this tape off, and it's actually fairly simple. And what you're doing is you're filling in all this void here, because the stock kind of bounces when you shoot. This is a 7 saum, and there was a big hole here, so I took a little bit of foam, put it here, and then this was the hole for the Arca plate, and I put a little foam there so it won't stick to the bolt. And then everything else I sanded lightly with an Emory cloth, and then I blew it out with compressed air. So you can see this part right here is going to get JB, and this part's going to get JB. All right, we fill the void with JB Weld, and fill this section with JB Weld. Put the stock in. You can see the screws down here. You want to be able to turn them. So I like to watch it while it's setting up for about 3 to 4 hours, and then take it out a little between 4 and 5 hours. I usually pop it out, but you don't want to do anything with it until. And I mixed it about an hour before I put it in because it's pretty runny if you don't. So you mix it 1 part to 1 part JB Weld, and then you got the 2 screws holding in alignment, and then I took about 1/4 to 1/2 roll of electrical tape. It's very elastic and stretchy, and it kind of acts like as a bungee. And then I just wrapped it over the action. I didn't wrap it over the tang, so it's squeezing the stock. I didn't grind down the metal. This has an aluminum bedding block, and the contact was quite good. So all I did was sand it and then blow it off with compressed air. And you can see I got barrel tape wrapped around again, and barrel tape here, so that it's going to be free floated. And then basically just bedding 1/4 inch in front of the bedding block, maybe 3/8 back into where the magazine is. And I've taped off the magazine and waxed. All the tape in this area has been waxed with that same wax you'd use for case lube. It's called Imperial dye wax. And then any of the metal parts were sprayed down, and it works really well. The key is you unscrew these after 3 or 4 hours, let it set for maybe another 1/2 hour to an hour, and then pop it out with a mallet, and then just leave it off to the side, let it set up. And that seems to do the trick. Wait 24 hours, you should be able to shoot it. The only thing I really have to do is take the tape off. I don't have any putty to cut off. I don't have any grinding to do with the Dremel tool. I try not to put too much bedding compound in it so it doesn't make a big mess. I wiped a little bit off here that came out, but in general, there might be a couple places that aren't totally full, but it's like 98%. And if you put too much in, it gushes everywhere and runs over everything. So this is about right. I did one about a week and a half ago and it worked well. And we'll check this in a few hours and see how it is.